Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, using the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Don Brunk, illustrated by Ola Leola. It's by CICO Books. Here on the back is their website information. So, if you would like to find that information, there you go. Supportive Oracle cards, The Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Keep thinking I'm forgetting something here. BlueAngelOnline.com. Okay, that's the publishing. Maybe that's something, I don't know. I think I pointed this out for the Pisces one too. It's down there. So if you want to find that information, there you go. Okay. What do we have for Cancer? That's a curious card. Let's see where's that going? Okay. So you're heading into something, but it's like it's almost like, you know, when you start down a slide and just once you're going, you're usually going the whole way down. This is a very slippery slide, so you're not going to catch yourself. Once you start, whew, there you go. And I think that's what we're going into. Now you have a very good card for Cancer. You got Ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. Okay, so I'm definitely an intuitive reader. I'm feeling this has something to do with like your own personal history. Is there I don't know if it's a pattern, but history. There's certain people you already know what to expect this and that from. No matter what they say, they're always going to do the same thing. It's kind of like someone's going to be like, hey, yeah, I'll go there and I won't say anything negative to so-and-so. I won't even look at them. Meanwhile, you know, as soon as they get into eye contact, that's going to go right out the door. Or it's going to be like somebody's going to say something like, oh yeah, I'm going to let so-and-so do it all on their own. I'm not going to go in and pick it all up for them. I'm not going to save the day for them this time. I'm not going to do that. Meanwhile, you know that's exactly what they're going to do, and they can't help themselves. This is kind of the DNA I'm feeling here. Like, you know the history of a situation. I don't think it's your pattern. I feel like it's addressing somebody else's and knowing, yep, they're telling me they're not going to do this or they're going to do that. And I know how this turns out every time. And I know they believe themselves. They believe that they're not going to or are going to, like, they're going to do it differently. They believe they're going to do it differently, but I've seen this play out too many times. I know how this is going to go. The owl is in the environment. The owl is very tricky, in my opinion. They do things the way they do things. Now, I feel like it's just I feel that energy though, kind of like, you know the owl is going to do what the owl needs to do. The owl hunts at night. The owl likes to get mice. It's kind of like, I feel like you know this is how it's going to be. That's what I'm really feeling, and I'm feeling like this copper coin behind the owl, which it's not supposed to be a copper coin, but it very much feels like a copper coin to me. And when I'm getting that, it's kind of like, you know what you need to put into the situation. You know how you need to handle this. And I feel like you're planning for this right off the bat. You're planning for it. You're like, okay, I know they want that, and I'll be there and I'll help them do that if they're really going to do that. I doubt they will, but if they do, okay. I'm going to be ready also, though, if they do what they normally do. So I'm going to be ready for that as well. And there's a lot of really deep feelings to this situation. Like, this isn't just an acquaintance, or like, if it's a coworker, it's somebody that really means a lot to you. So it's not just like I see them now and then type thing, because you got the hearth going on here. So this is somebody who, like, even though they do what they do and they do it the same way every time, you're very committed to who they are, and you're not gonna desert them in any way. That's not gonna happen. But you're also kind of like, yeah, that's how they do it, and I will be here for them, and I will help them through it. That's what I do. You're not gonna back down on this. You got the polar bear, hummingbird, and the penguin. Now the polar bear and the penguin, they're both pages. One is the page of water, the other one is the page of... No, it's not. You got the seeker and the seer. So one of these is more active, but the Seeker is like looking for problems. Looking for problems? Okay. The Seeker of shells has found what they need, and the Seeker and the Seer, like one is looking for problems, the other one's trying to make this go well. We got to go intuitively with this because it's kind of like flipping back and forth on me here. But I'm getting like the Success card here with the Six of Wands. Hummingbird, very good. I'm going to almost say auspicious omen here. It's very good. It's somebody's looking for the holes in the situation. I keep getting that. Might be you, but not in a bad way. Kind of like, before we end up in a problem, let me just look for the holes. That way I can fix the holes. That way I can handle the holes. Kind of like, if there's going to be a hole in the roof I need to know where, and I'll just put a bucket there now. Why wait for it? Why wait for it? Like, or even better, okay, there's a hole in the roof. Since I found it, might as well fix it. I'll do something. I'll stop it up. I'll fix it. We'll handle it that way. You're looking for the holes in the situation. I think it might be you. But kind of like, if I see them, I can just deal with them. They don't have to linger. It's not a bad thing. It's not like you want there to be problems. It's not that. It's kind of like there will be problems. So like if you just find them, you can just deal with them. Because you are getting success from this. And I feel like you're pointing it out to the right people and everything's getting set up. Seer and Seeker seem to work very well together, especially because they're both water. In your water, Cancer's water. I'm getting this works out really well. This is actually, I believe, the Sun card in the normal tarot deck. It's just very peculiar to me to have a crocodile with a butterfly on his nose. I'm just kind of like, how interesting for the Sun card. It's kind of like everything's good. Doesn't mean things are always good. I like this deck for that reason. It gives you a different version. Kind of like, in this situation, it's working well. Does it always work well? No. Has it gone really bad sometimes? Yes. But in this situation, it is going very well. This time around, it is going very well. I'm also getting with your energy, though, even though this is going very well, because this seems to be the environment, you're kind of like, you seem to be holding a lot of it together. You got the Mummy, and you got is that the Five of Swords? Five of Air, Five of Swords, same difference. It seems a little bit scattered to you. You might have a hard time getting comfortable in this situation. It seems like it's going really well. Like the Sun card is here. Everybody else is very, very happy. But I also feel like you're kind of like running around making sure that everything stays happy. You're cutting things off at the pass. You're making sure that this person and that person don't start with each other. You might be keeping people apart. You might be moving things around as necessary. You're holding the situation together is literally what I'm getting. And it's kind of like, even though everybody else is having fun, I just feel it's not like I don't think it's really stressful. It's just kind of like, it's not like this is going to be how it is from now on. It's weird energy with that Five of Feathers, which is the Five of Swords. It's kind of like I don't believe in it. It's kind of like it's good for now, but I don't know how long this will last. And while you're holding it together, you're not even convinced you can hold it together for the whole situation. You're like, I don't know how long this is going to last. But you're doing what you need to. There is something under the surface, especially when I get this crocodile energy. Even though it's the Sun card, that crocodile is just kind of like, you're holding it together, and I think that's why the Five of Swords is showing up, the Five of Feathers. Is it Blue Jay? Because I feel like you see something going on, and you're trying to circumvent it and trying to calm it down, but you're like, there's going to be an issue. You seem to feel like, even though today is good, sooner or later there's going to be an issue. You see it coming. And then we got the Albatross with the Trick or Treat. Like, is it going to come forward? Because it feels like you're worried about it. Like, in the sense of, like, sooner or later this is going to come forward. Sooner or later the cat's going to come out of the bag and we're going to hear about it and it's going to be an issue. But when I'm getting Trick or Treat with the Eight of Swords, I don't think it's coming forward just yet. I feel like somebody's kind of like taunting the situation, but it's not coming forward. And it's kind of like a lot of people are feeling kind of stuck, kind of like, well, we don't want that to be an issue. It seems like people keep having this hopeful energy, like maybe this will pass. Maybe this won't be that bad. Maybe we can just move on from it. Maybe we don't have to call it out. Yeah, it's taunting. There's a taunting energy here. And the trick or treat is kind of like, it's making me think like, it's making me wonder, like, is it about to be a problem, or is it just like, are we just like playing games here? Feeling stuck, not challenging it. Nobody wants to seem to challenge. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to challenge the situation either. Things take a really good turn all of a sudden. Whoever, whatever the problem is, something else overrides it. Something goes well. It's almost like if there's a family situation and somebody's kind of like doing something they shouldn't be. It's almost like all of a sudden a pregnancy is announced and all the energy goes poof, right there. Kind of like, we don't want to deal with that. Let's deal with the happy thing. Let's go towards the happy energy. Let's do that. Um, it comes in very fast, but it's the skull of light. It's like something distracts it. It's not bad. It's just kind of like, it's throwing me a little bit, to tell you the truth, because it's not expected. It's kind of like you're gearing up, like, okay, we're almost there. It's going to be a problem soon. And then something comes in to distract it, kind of like, nope, we're good. Comes in really quick. The problem does not come forward. It does not come forward. It's kind of like, I don't know if this is good or bad, to tell you the truth. Because I'm getting the wheel is kind of looming here. And I feel like this might actually explain what's going to happen here at the end. The wheel is here, and I feel like it's kind of like something is distracting the majority of what's going on here. So whatever that trick-or-treat energy is, that something is looming, like there's going to be a problem here, something very there's a very strong energy that distracts from that very well. Like, most people seem to be going a different direction at this moment. The wheel is still kind of like hanging out here, though. And I feel like you're looking at this like, all right, this is it's going to have to be dealt with. It doesn't have to be the worst situation, but like, it's kind of like, do we wait for it and just see what happens and just like keep rolling the dice until it just happens? Or do we go forward and deal with it? Are you going to deal with it? Because I feel like you might want to. Which, Cancer doesn't usually like to cause problems if it doesn't seem like it's going to make anything better. Especially if it's going to drag a lot of people through the mud for no reason. But I'm getting like the Three of Pentacles, the Guardian of the Branches. I think that's the King of Fire. I think. It doesn't matter. The energy that I'm feeling like is somebody actively going towards it and fixing something. And doing the work to make this move on with the Six of Swords. Like, it's looking like we're trying to make it move on. We're trying to make it move on. We're actively going towards it. And we're going to debunk it before it becomes a problem. And you're also getting like the veil here. Like, you might be working behind the scenes, like very quietly, like trying to fix something, trying to work something out without it being too noticeable. Like, you're kind of like popping in and out, like kind of hiding, kind of not. But for the better of other people. Like, we don't need to make this a big issue with everybody. Let's just handle it and get it taken care of. Let's just try to make it a non-issue if we can. Because I think this is where this is going, because literally the wheel is looming here. It's kind of like people are distracted, and you're like, while they're distracted, maybe we can just fix this or make this better. Maybe that way it doesn't have to become a big blow up. Because it's kind of like, there's a problem here. There's a problem, and you've been working to try to make it work out. And when this moment comes in, I feel like you have to be a little bit more covert. I feel like you have to be a little bit more covert. Like, you're just not going to tell people what you're doing. And like trying to fix something and trying to make something go better. For somebody at least, I think there might be a couple of you, oddly enough. It's almost like there's a disease or something that you're taking care of or helping somebody else take care of. And it's kind of like, it almost feels like cancer. Like, there's treatments and stuff, but it's almost like, I think we might be able to keep this a secret, and I think we might be able to help this person go through this, or maybe you have to go through this, and you're trying to keep it as quiet as possible and as unnoticed as possible. Which seems like that's difficult. Seems like to me that that's really difficult, but depending on what you're dealing with, I feel like it's something like that. Like, there's a situation that's difficult, but maybe we can quietly handle it and move it on before it's actually a serious issue, and maybe we can get around a lot of problems this way. If we can just keep it contained to a select few, maybe it doesn't have to be that big a deal. You have your reasons. If that's happening, you know why that's happening, and that's how that is. Because I feel like I'm trying to stay hidden. I really feel like I'm trying to stay hidden. It's very interesting to me. I think that's a good thing, though. I don't think that's bad. I don't think anything's happening here in a negative way. I feel like this whole reading is saying, bide your time, wait till your moment comes forward. It does seem like this is a good thing for you to keep it more private when you deal with it. Kind of like this doesn't need to be known by everybody. And I feel like that's working to your advantage. And I feel like they're saying, instead of just letting it come on its own or deal with it, come forward when it wants to with the Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like instead of just waiting for the wheel, like which way is the wheel going to turn, you're walking up to it and you're turning it the way you need to. Which is not normal for the Wheel of Fortune. But I really do feel that, especially you get the spiral on the spider here. It's called the Sacred Spinner. Like something's going to change. That's again why I like this deck, because it's a little different with how it explains things. In this situation, I feel like you're able to, instead of just waiting for something to happen, you're just actively going to take care of it. I think it might make you nervous while you do it. I think that's the whole purpose of this reading, kind of like saying, yeah, you're going to be nervous, but it's going to be all right. Just keep going. Keep it to the select people you think is correct, and just keep going. It goes easier that way. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.